Hey, have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When CJ and I were trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show into all the apps that people like to listen to? How do I make money from my podcast? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use too. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. We use Anchor because we live over an hour away and it brings us together as if we're in the same room. The sound quality is better than Skype and more reliable too. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing so, go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start to join us and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. We can't wait to hear your podcast.
We will not be held responsible for any hearing impairments or damage caused to you from excessive exposure to this sound.
Hey CJ, remember that one time?
Oh yeah, it was fucking epic.
You're listening to
Remember That One Time,
the Inappropriate Storytime podcast
with CJ,
and Chris.
and these are not your mama's fairy tales.
Amen.
I just took you to church. Actually, I'm not going to use that phrase because I just read what you're going to talk about and it scares me. So,
Yeah.
I
Please don't
guess
take me to church.
right, we'll dive into that now then. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is Remember That One Time with your host, Chris.
And CJ.
And this week, we are taking you to church. At least that's what we thought would be a cool way to say it. Our, words are a thing. Our topic this episode is church, religion, some funny things that have happened over our lifetimes thus far. We're not done with them yet, but some things that have happened that we thought were amusing that we figured some of you guys would get a joke out of. So we thought, okay, well, we're talking about church. We're going to call it Take Me to Church, because there's also that song out that, well, it's been out for quite some time. You know which one I'm talking about. Yeah, so you know the song. It was either that or Play Eric Church, and I'm not about that life at all. So after, titling, is that a word? After naming this podcast that, CJ did some fancy research, and it turns out that is not what we should have named this episode. Go ahead with some of your stories, CJ. Let's. How about you take me to church?
Okay, so yeah, we're sitting around last episode talking about what we wanted this episode to be about. We said take you to church, and so just for shits and giggles, I looked up what does it mean to take someone to church on Urban Dictionary. And I don't suggest looking it up. I mean, they straight up ripped a page out of Dirty Sanchez's book of nasty sex things. So apparently, if you look it up on Urban Dictionary, taking someone to church means you're doing someone up the butt while wearing a priest robe, and the person that's taking it up the butt is on their knees begging for forgiveness for their sins.
Bless me, Father.
So,
I love it.
Yeah. So we're not gonna take you to church like that, because that's nasty and that'd be wrong.
I mean, it's currently what is today? Wednesday? It is a church night, isn't it?
It is. Yep. And it's 6:56 right now, so it's probably right about church time.
Yep, it is prime taken to church time.
Ugh,
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. I only do that on Thursdays.
Okay. Yeah. So I was also talking to some other friends, seeing if anybody had some funny church stories. And if you'll remember a few episodes back, our friend Marinara, that's her alias.
Okay, I thought you were going to say that's her actual name, and I was going to hit the floor.
No. Her name is Marinara because if she eats red sauce and then drinks, she always barfs.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I thought it was just like, yeah, this is what she goes by when we go to the Mexican restaurants because she's like really saucy and she's like, yeah, my name is Marinara.
Oh my God. I wish I could do that. No, we just straight up named her that because anytime we're going to go out drinking, she is not allowed to have the red sauce.
She needs to have a sticker on her like, please don't feed me red sauce.
Yeah, Alfredo only, or just no sauce at all. But, no sauce is no fun. So
no.
Anyway, I was asking her if she had any stories, and I was kind of thinking she probably might have one or two. Because she grew up Catholic, and if you've ever been to
she's got a lot more than one or two then.
Yeah, if you've ever been to a Catholic church, it's a whole other deal. Like it's completely different. So, she didn't really get into the whole like why the priest was sprinkling holy water. I've never gone to a Catholic church service. I've only been to,
they do.
Yeah, I've only been to a Catholic wedding, so like I don't know if it's like. Do they sprinkle everybody, or is it only
they get out the hose?
Is it like every Sunday, or is there a reason for this? I have no idea. But anyways, so she's sitting there and the priest is coming down the line and he's about to sprinkle her with the holy water. And I mean, like I said, I've never seen it done, so I'm just imagining like he's dipping his fingertips into the water and just like flicking it in their face. And so apparently, and he's done this to so many people and everybody's just sitting there taking it. And so he gets to Marinara and he dips his fingers in and he flicks it in her face, and a drop of water went in her eye. And so she's like, she gets freaky about stuff being near her eye.
My eyes, it burns.
So it hits her in the eye. She grabs the side of her face because she's a little dramatic. She grabs the side of her face and she goes, ow! And she jumps. And so all these people around her are like, oh my God, the holy water burned her. She is possessed.
Of course.
People are like blessing her and trying to exorcise the demon. And it was just, I mean, I wasn't there. I'm just taking her word for it.
God, she's going to be burned at the stake.
It sounded terrifying. I'm like, all these people think that you're possessed just because this dude splashed some water in your eye. It sounded terrible. I'm just imagining.
Legit.
Ugh. So, and in that very same church service, this was after the holy water burned her, and everybody already thinks she's possessed.
Burned her.
Everybody already thinks she's possessed. They have
at this point, I would just commit to it. Be like, if people already think about it,
just own it.
Yep.
Own it. Yeah. So they have the little flip down stools because with the Catholics, it's like a lot of up and down and praying and standing and singing and bowing and praying and all that. And so you're supposed to like flip the little cushion down, and I guess you use it to like get on your knees and pray. Yep. And so I guess they're like really crammed into these church pews and they're really close together, and she flips her little stool thing down and she just straight up smashes this lady's toe next to her.
Oh my God.
And she, like, I'm talking like dead silent Catholic church. She just screams out, and then Marinara goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I mean, you're not supposed to say, oh my God.
Right, so taking the Lord's name in vain.
Okay, so this girl is possessed.
She's screaming names.
She just tried to take this woman's toe off, and she took the Lord's name in vain. I mean, that's 3 strikes. Like that's
right.
Pretty much, that's excommunication time.
And say, was she escorted directly to hell?
Right. I mean, she's still living, so I don't know. I guess there's still time.
I guess. Repent.
But and then she said, and another time that I went, and I was like, wait, I'm sorry, you went back after this? They let you back in after this?
Right.
This was like,
I get kicked out of that club.
Yeah, months and months later, she was there, and they, I guess it was one of their hymns, or maybe it was something that the priest said, but someone said, lift your hands up to Jesus. And I mean, it's just something that they said. They weren't looking for a reaction from the crowd.
Oh,
but
no.
She stood up like the wave and then looked around and she's like, oh, that's not a thing here? Is that only a thing for football games?
Oh my
And then she
God.
sat back down and she was like, oh, okay, I think this is it. I'm not coming back after this.
Okay, so she didn't go like full Medea on him though, with like a praise Jesus.
No,
Nothing like that.
no, she was just like, you're down at, you know, the football field and your team just scored a goal and you're gonna do the wave and
Okay, so she
nobody
just like straight up stood up, both
hands
hands.
up. Yeah,
That's amazing.
I mean, in a Southern Baptist church,
Oh
that
yeah.
probably wouldn't have been so out of place, but with the Catholics, they don't really do that kind of thing. So, oh, and she said this was just like complete, just random thing. I don't know if this was the same Catholic church. I'm kind of thinking it's probably not. It was probably a different one. But she said they're in the middle of service, which I guess lasts like 6 hours or something. And the
God.
priest is up there and he's preaching or whatever. Or do they call it, if he's a priest and not
mass.
a preacher, do they call it preaching or priesting? Is priesting a word? It is now.
Yeah, we're gonna go with it.
So preachers preach and priests, they're priesting. I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Seems
a new word.
legit.
It's a thing. So the priest is up there priesting, and his phone goes off, and it's tucked inside his little robe, and it is a straight up techno ringtone. So he's in the
His
middle of his
little
thing,
robe.
and it's all of a sudden like this just techno music, and he didn't miss a beat. Like he kept on priesting. He just reached in, real sly, and turned it off.
Like it was
And
nothing.
like it was nothing, went back to priesting. And literally a minute later, his phone rang again.
Who
Second time.
doesn't know that this man is currently at the altar?
Priesting. He's priesting.
Yeah.
He's busy. I mean, with the second phone call, maybe it was God calling. I don't know.
No, one of those things that it's like, I'm calling about the warranty on your 2014 Jeep Cherokee that like you've never owned in your entire life.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna assume that
Yeah.
was.
So there was that, and I really wish that I could have seen that, because that sounds like it was probably pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really have the only story I have one story, and so my dad's parents lived on Monteagle Mountain, and they went to this like super super backwoods. It's possible they didn't even have running water or electricity in this church.
Snake handlers.
Yeah. Southern Baptist church, like fire and brimstone type stuff.
Nice.
And they took me there one time, and I was really young. I mean, I barely remember this. But I remember it was like one of those places where the people speak in tongues.
Pentecost.
And that's always freaked me out. I don't
Oh, yeah.
understand it. I have problems believing it, really. I just think that they're just making it up.
Not my thing.
And I mean, as a little kid, like I had no idea. Like I thought there was something wrong with these people.
Right?
I mean, I thought they were in pain or something. Because
Somebody
it
used
was
to
like
call
you
the
said,
doctor.
they'd jump up and they'd be like, it was like somebody having a seizure, and
Yeah,
they'd
like
be like
you think
spouting
somebody
off
hit him
all
with
this-
a taser.
Yeah, like complete electrocution, and
Yeah.
then they fall to the ground and they're just laying there. Like I thought some of them were dead, because like
They were
there were
filled with the
so
Holy
many of them
Spirit.
that would just stand up and they would start convulsing and they would fall over on the floor and they weren't getting back up. And
Mm-mm.
so I thought they were dead. I was crying. It was really scary. And the preacher's carrying around a 5-gallon bucket of holy water, and he's just sprinkling
5-gallon bucket.
I'm not even kidding you, a 5-gallon bucket,
Jesus.
like straight up from Lowe's. And he's like sprinkling people, like the people that are passed out. He's like sprinkling them. And like as he's sprinkling them, like they're coming back to life. And I was just like, this is just, I don't know.
Yeah. Coke, please.
That was not my thing at all. I was not down with that. So yeah, I didn't go back. But that's really my only story.
Didn't you get kicked out of a church for fucking in the bathroom?
No.
No?
Close, but no.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure that's what happened,
It's not.
but no.
No, I
What
didn't
am
get
I
kicked out.
remembering then?
And nobody knew about it until just now.
Oh shit. Remember that one time CJ got busted on a podcast? My
And I
bad.
actually I did not do it in a bathroom.
Oh,
I
they
didn't
took
do
you
it
to
in a
huh?
church. No, that didn't happen.
Are
It
you
was more
recanting your statement?
no, I'm saying like what actually happened is we made out in a bathroom and
But it
nobody
wasn't a church bathroom?
yeah, it was a church bathroom.
There you go.
But nobody caught us. There was just people suspected because we were both gone and then we both showed back up.
Oh, so I just let the 13-year-old cat out of the bag?
That was way longer than 13 years ago. This was
Look, I'm giving you the benefit of
Oh.
a doubt, okay? You're not
Okay.
as old as
all right.
people
All
think
right.
you
It was okay. It was 7 years ago then.
In
Make
that
me feel a
case,
lot
I'm
younger.
only 23,
Right.
right?
But okay, so I also wrote down a couple of terms that some like super religious people don't like to say, and they have replaced them with other terms.
Oh, this makes me
Um,
happy.
yeah. So we got deviled eggs are now called angel eggs
Oh,
because
my uncle, anytime we had Easter, he would bring deviled eggs, but he would call them, oh my God, no, he would call them something else because it was they were deviled eggs with the devil chased out of them. Yeah.
it's good. I like that one better.
Yeah, deviled eggs with the devil chased out. He called them something else, but that's how he would explain it every time.
So yeah,
Anyways.
deviled eggs are angel eggs because the devil is bad, and if we eat his eggs, he'll grow inside of us and make us possessed.
Of course.
So potluck is not potluck, it's pot faith because there's no such thing as luck and our faith is in Jesus. Yeah. Root beer becomes root soda because beer is the devil.
Of course.
And Jesus turned water into wine turns into Jesus turned water into sweet tea because wine equals alcohol and alcohol equals sin and sweet tea equals life.
Right, especially down here.
Yeah.
Sweet tea
And
is
I mean
life.
that one, like I kind of have a problem with that one. Like, I mean, it says so in the Bible. So like you're saying you're reading it here, but you're saying, oh no, that didn't happen. He actually turned it into sweet tea just because you don't agree with the wine and the alcohol. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and
Picking and
offend some
choosing.
people here and be like, most of the Southern Baptists that are down here anyways, they like to take things that are in that book and kind of bend them to fit their will anyways. So sweet tea is the last of my concern.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to change it to something, it sure wouldn't be sweet tea. I hate sweet tea, but
My blood is not wine. My blood just happens to be Fireball.
my blood is Mountain Dew.
Right? Yeah.
If God is king and I'm God's child, does that make me a princess?
You will find any way to make yourself a princess. And yes, I do believe that is the case.
Yep.
Your Majesty.
Yeah. Oh, well, speaking of, and I mean, I don't know, I might be wrong. I don't know if this is a Catholic thing or not, but the whole term of awake, is that Catholic?
No, that is very like Southern. I'm pretty sure that's just a thing that happens around here. I mean, I know that they call them viewings elsewhere, like where you view the body, but I think like an actual wake is a backwoods Southern Appalachian thing.
Well, I mean, I know where it comes from. It's because like back in the day, they didn't have the technology to tell whether somebody was actually dead or just like in a coma. And so they had a wake where they sat up with the dead.
You could just sniff it.
Yeah. So they sat up with the dead, quote unquote, to make sure that they didn't wake up. Like, can you imagine how terrifying that would be and how weird that would be nowadays? Like,
oh, yeah.
Like if I just drop dead, somebody's going to lay me up on this air hockey table in the man cave and everybody's going to come in my house and sit around for 4 days to make sure I'm not going to wake up.
Okay, I'm not going to
use
lie.
In my bathroom.
That's probably going to happen anyway because we're going to assume that you're just drunk. So we're just going to lean you up against one of your 8 air hockey tables and wait for you to come to. And the party will still be going on for 4 days. So honestly, this is not very far-fetched.
Well, yeah, you're probably right. I like it.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
I'll host your wake, and I'll make sure it's the most banging party on the block.
Dude, I'm telling you what, my wake will be the biggest, most badass party I've ever thrown in my life.
Do you have to have an invitation?
Yeah. I mean, I took out 2 life insurance policies just to pay for this thing.
Already?
Yeah, already.
Nice.
I got the kegs pre-ordered, everything. It's all taken care of.
You would have kegs.
So, what kind of stories do you have from church?
Well, first off, I do want to add that she mentioned waking up with the dead. That is also a fantastic.
Sitting up with the dead?
That's it. What did I say? Waking up with the
dead? I don't want to wake up with the dead. That's terrifying.
Like sitting
like
up.
Wake up in your bed, roll over. There's a dead person.
Right. No. Sorry. Sitting up with the dead is a very. Well, I don't want to say very popular. It's more popular than I thought because growing up, I thought that me and CJ were the only people on the planet that knew who Ray Stevens was. And it was because the video for The Streak was recorded in our hometown grocery store, Puckett's. But then, okay, do you remember a couple of episodes ago, I talked to you about that 20-year-old in West Memphis that bent me over the table while eating SpaghettiOs?
Yep.
That kid? He had a VHS copy of the Ray Stevens video that me and CJ grew up with. And then
my God, did you steal it?
I didn't steal it. I was just like, "Hey," and he was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Oh." You know?
That's amazing.
Yes. And then packing stuff up with Ethan when he came to live with me, I noticed he had it too. And I was like, "Hey," and he was like, "Hey." So apparently he's more well-known than I thought he was. But there is a song, Sitting Up with the Dead. I have put that up on our website, which can be reached on our Facebook page. Just search Remember That One Time. I think it can also be reached at facebook.com/RT1T. I don't know. Just you'll find us on Facebook. We can also be located at any of our social media hangouts. That is Twitter at Remember That One Time. That is Instagram. That is... We've got a YouTube channel. We're eventually going to have to make some sort of video to keep that thing alive, I guess.
Yeah. Well, when it comes in April, when we do the Beer Olympics.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We'll have a lot of footage.
Oh, yeah. So that'll be the big thing to stay tuned for on YouTube is when the Beer Olympics hits.
April the 6th. Mark your calendars.
April
Beer Olympics, 6th. April the 6th. Be there.
Be there or be lame.
Right.
Because nobody knows what square is anymore.
Right. So if you want to participate, let me know. If you want to be a judge, let me know. I think we got 20-something people on board already.
That's amazing. I'm going to go ahead and let you know that my mother is on board. She is going to be judging, and she judges pretty hard. So
nice.
We're going to hold you to the highest standards with your beer ponging, or whatever the hell it is that we're doing. I'm just there to MC and host and everything, because I'm pretty sure we have Wes at the 5-Star Show commentating, like actual sports commentating, because that's what he does. Commentating. He's just a commentator. So stupid.
Yes. That's what he is from now on. He's a commentator.
He is. He's not a special tater. He's a commentator. God, we're stupid.
All I can think about is taters.
And imagine these tiny little potatoes with hands and feet dancing across your screen. Commentators. It's stupid.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of that, always go check out 5-Star Show. I don't think I've told him yet, but me and Ethan this weekend, we went to Memphis. We actually ran into Mick Foley and Jerry the King Lawler in a store on Beale Street in Memphis. So that was really cool. That's something that Wes will get a jazzy kick out of.
I don't
That
know what any of those words mean.
exactly. CJ has no clue who they are. They're
Is that
wrestlers.
is that a WWE thing?
It is.
Okay.
Jerry the King Lawler was my mom's favorite wrestler. He's been around that long.
Okay.
And I think he
was
was
he
like,
in a wheelchair?
No, man.
No.
And then all I can think of is Mankind right now. That's one of his alter ego things. I can't think of the name. I just said it and I can't remember it to save my life. Mick Foley. Yeah, he was taller than I thought he was going to be. He looks a lot smaller on screen. But anyway, that is something that I will talk to 5 Star Show about. So check out the 5 Star Show. I think he has his own website, 5starshow.com, Facebook, all that jazz. This is this episode brought to you by Mic Drop Mobile Media. Affordable, dependable, unforgettable. If you need a wedding, if you need a party, bar mitzvahs, births, whatever, if you need a soundtrack, I will be there.
Births?
Yep, I will DJ your birth, bitch. You are coming in to this world with a soundtrack. God, if that was available, you know what? Let's make that a thing. Dude, I should have thought about this while you were doulaing.
Oh my God, we could have had a package deal.
We could have. That would have been amazing. You could have been like, counting off like when they're having their contractions, and I could have like the beat going in the background. It could have been like, now push 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. That would have been amazing.
God.
Why didn't we do that?
Yes.
Anyways,
some people are always asking like, what song did you lose your virginity to? No, what song were you born to?
exactly. Oh my God, I love it. I'm on it. I am on it. That's going to be a new thing. You heard it.
I can't wait until you call me telling me you got kicked out of Vanderbilt.
Yes. So why do I have to come bail you out of jail?
Noise complaints from the other ICU patients.
It's not my fault. They were Scandinavian. They wanted metal.
Oh my God.
Not my fault. That's awesome. So yeah, I'm going to make that a thing. You're the first to hear about it right here on Remember That One Time. Yeah, birthing soundtracks are now going to be a thing. You're welcome. So there's where you can find us, all that fun stuff. So my stories, I've just got a handful. First memory, I guess I have here of taking to church was growing up. I wasn't like constantly brought up in the church, but Dad would try his best and try his hardest to send me that direction. And so we got put on a school bus that took us to this little backwoods church, not the type of, Pentecostal screaming in tongues type, but close. And I was 13 or 14 maybe, and that's when I was very first starting to get into classic rock music and really like coming into my own. And he's giving this sermon up front, and he's the type that gets like really passionate about what he's talking about.
Wait. Is this happening on the bus or in the church?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, he just shipped us off to a church on a school bus.
Okay, I never heard the part where you got off the bus, and so I'm
Yes.
like imagining him like preaching on a moving bus.
I would not be surprised. Now, we got there, and it's this tiny little one-room church. So I'm sitting up front with the group of people my age, and he starts going on and on about this rant about how rock and roll is the devil's music, and you're going to go to hell, and it's, directly correlated, like AC/DC equals eternal damnation. Kiss is Knights in Satan's service, and you're going to die just by listening, and when you die, you will be escorted hand in hand with a demon directly to hell. My brain is going, fuck yeah, I am. That sounds amazing. And of course, so he's going on about this, and I have had a problem with my attitude since a tender age. And
No, not you.
as he's going on about this, I let out like this ridiculous sigh and roll my eyes so hard, like my spine could have fallen out of my head. My spine's not located in my head.
I was wondering how that would work.
I don't know. I tried to sound like really dramatic about it and I failed so hard. Yeah, I rolled my eyes in a very dramatic fashion, enough to have caught his attention. And when I say he was a passionate preacher, he's the type, he would always talk like this. And everything was like a at the end of everything. And he would like take a sip of water behind everything he said. So it was always like constantly dribbling off the side of his face.
Okay, pause.
What?
I'm sorry. I just had a thought.
Go on.
You know who this reminds me of? Like the way you're describing him. A certain English teacher that we had in high school, when she did that thing where she was walking around and doing the preaching fire and brimstone, and she smacked on somebody's desk and we all jumped.
Yeah, the Crucible. We were all learning it was either the Crucible or Scarlet Letter, but yeah, she was reading some sort of fire and brimstone passage from a book and like got really way too intense. I'm gonna give you a hint. This English teacher was originally hired to be our drama teacher and just got sucked into English because she sucked at English. So her first passion was drama, and boy did she let it out. We almost pissed ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I'm imagining from now on. This preacher.
Yeah, that's pretty much
like that.
That's pretty much it. So he's got a water bottle in one hand and a tissue in the other, because as he's like, and then slurping on the water, it's coming out of the corners of his mouth. He's trying to like sop up the water with his other hand with the tissue. And all this time he's like shaking too. And he's like, oh, just rock and roll. Oh, it's the devil's music. Oh, and they're all gonna go. Oh, they're all gonna go to hell. And he's doing this thing. And I kid you not, that's what it is. So that's my reaction too, is like, holy shit. This dude is out of his mind. And so as he's worked up in this whole thing, he's like, young lady, I see you. Are you not believing? Do you not feel Jesus? Can you not feel him from your head all the way to the tip of your toes? And like he grabs my ankle when he says toes and like yanks me off of the first pew, smacks my head on the wooden pew, and I'm sitting here like, the fuck just happened? Did I just get saved? What is this? I don't know anything about church whatsoever, and I don't know what just happened. And yeah, I came home and I told my parents, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going back to that. That's not a thing I'm into, so I won't be doing that again. So I didn't.
I ain't going there. You can't make me.
Yeah, pretty much. Fight me. Sit down, local shrimp house. Fight me.
Nobody knows what that means except for us, but
I know.
Fine.
But it's glorious. We'll explain it one day, I'm sure. So yeah, that's how I got pulled off of the pew by my foot by an angry preacher that tried to save my eternal soul from AC/DC. There's that. And then fast forward another 15, 20 years, and I am enjoying my regularly scheduled debauchery and making my rounds around a couple hundred penises. Find myself on the penis of a certain guy. We're going to call him Mr. Cook, because if I divulge too much here, somehow it's going to end up getting back to his preacher or his family or his dean of students or something, and he's going to get like taken out by a hitman, because these people are fucking crazy.
They are.
So this guy, Mr. Cook, he's the one I was dating in a different state. And this dude, he did a number on me, which, I mean, technically my crazy hyperfixation did a number on myself. He just happened to be the subject of it. But what happened was, I met him and we hooked up. And the problem was I was divorced and he could not like internally deal with that fact because his entire family is ridiculously fundamentalist Christian. Now, I'm not talking like goes to church on Sundays and then goes to eat at the Perkins restaurant and then go home and watch football Christian. I'm talking always wear suits and ties. The strongest word they've ever said is the word heck. And they're just like really, really, really intense. What classifies them as fundamentalists is that they take every single word in the Bible as the
Like,
end all be
literally.
all. Yeah, like literally, that is what it means. There's no room for translation here. This is what it said. This is what it means. Means. So, like, wool is evil. Shellfish, that's it. You're going to hell. So, it's just, it puts on this, like, pedestal that is nearly impossible to ever reach. So, I think that's another reason he was doing online dating and searching out outside of his religious sphere, because sphere. I mean, it could be a spear. Yeah. So I'm kind of rambling. Let me get back to this. So I met him. I fucked him. He was too filled of guilt to be a normal person. He actually hid my existence for over 2 years. Like, nobody knew that I existed. Not his parents, not any of his friends. Nobody in that state knew I existed, which is amazing because I went there twice, got a hotel, and went to meet with him, and he took me out to dinner. But what he did was really, really shitty because he picked this restaurant with like the dimmest light there was, and he had us sat in the very, very back corner so that no one would ever see us. Like, he hid me in person as if I was a leper or something. So that's how like filled of guilt he was to be associated with a divorced person.
And it's not like even if you had ran into some of his friends at the restaurant, it's not like they could have looked at you and been like, "Oh, this chick is divorced." Like,
No, but they would have
nobody ever
asked
would have
questions.
known.
Right. It's just, and his family didn't even live in that state either. So I don't know. He was just like ridiculously terrified of everything.
And didn't he take you like 2 towns over to go to this restaurant?
Yeah.
And he still hid you like that, even 2
Yeah. Oh,
towns
you know
away.
what? It was actually that other restaurant was in a different state. Now that I think about it, it was the neighboring state, but still, yeah, he totally took me out of the state to hide me from everybody else. Absolute insanity. So that was when I went to visit him. He actually came up to my state, and the only way I could convince him to do that was to get baptized. Yeah, I faked a baptism to get some dick because I'm that kind of person. I tried to secure my status of girlfriend by, oh yeah, I talked to Jesus. Me and him, we're pals, we're homies. Yeah, I'm gonna go to his place and, play in the water for a little bit. You want to come see? So, yeah, I'm gonna go to Jesus's lake house. So, yeah, he came and he met my family, and it was super awkward. And we went to the church that I was going to at the time, and he was like, "This is crazy, and I'm super uncomfortable." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Your pastor is wearing jeans, and they're singing secular music." And I'm like, they have a guitar. And he's like, "Yeah, that's not right." Okay, cool. So there was something else had come up in my brain, and I could not remember what it was. It was something when I mentioned the baptism. I don't know. I don't remember now, but yeah, I got baptized to get some dick, and then that didn't work. We sat down and tried so many times to do this whole, okay, well, here's how we're going to tell your family. Nothing ever worked. I actually emailed his pastor to ask. Well, wait, no. I talked to the pastor of the church I was going to and asked for his suggestions, and I threatened to tell this guy's pastor, and he flipped his shit. So that didn't work. So I went out and got a tattoo on my foot with a Bible verse on it. Now, luckily, it is a Bible verse that isn't overtly Christian. It could be taken as just like a motto if I hadn't have put the cross on it. But it says, walk by faith, not by sight. So, I mean, you can have faith in anything. I have faith in the fact that Beethoven composed well. Other than that, it doesn't have to mean Jesus. So, moral of that story is that I got a tattoo and got baptized to try to get some dick, and it failed. Yes.
Well, I mean, it worked for a little while.
It did. Well, the reason that none of this worked was because he was so indoctrinated by all this bullshit, and mainly because of BJU. Now, as much as I would have loved that to be Blowjob University, because I graduated with the highest honors, it is not. It is Bob Jones University. And CJ's going to tell us a little bit about that because she has a friend that actually went. I mean, my ex-boyfriend went, but, you know.
Yeah, so just going by what she told me, there's like crazy rules. You cannot talk to other people of the opposite sex on the phone. You're not allowed to walk with them on the sidewalk. You're under no circumstances allowed to be in a car with someone of the opposite sex. And I can't remember if she said that there was an exception if it was family or not. I can't remember that rule or not. You weren't allowed to have any kind of books, movies, magazines, anything in your dorm that was not Christian based, like even like rated G movies.
Nope, nothing secular.
Nothing secular at all. And this friend actually ended up getting thrown out because she was caught going to the movie theater to see Finding Nemo.
Yep. Oh, you mean Finding Satan?
Apparently. I guess, and I mean, it's not even because Ellen DeGeneres was in it and she's gay. It was like, it didn't matter. It was a movie in a movie theater. You're out.
It was off campus.
Off campus. It's not a Christian movie. It's not a Christian establishment. You are out.
Yeah.
You don't pass go. Don't collect $200. You don't get your money back. You don't get your credits transferred. Nothing. You're done. And they sent her packing and she had to come back home.
Yep, they have a very firm dress code.
Yeah, there's dress code.
Yep, guys have to be in suits and ties. And I'm not talking like just like jeans and a suit jacket and a cute little tie. I mean like Sunday best constantly. Because the majority of their classes are actually just church services instead of actual classes. So they're not learning a whole lot other than just church. Going to school. Like, and it's not like a monastery.
Yeah, I mean, it seems more like seminary, but it's not. It's a regular college, but
right. I mean,
a regular
there
college.
there is a seminary there as well,
mm-hmm.
but the whole thing is not like purely a seminary school.
Right. Yeah, they have other degrees.
Right. The people, it's just a whole other world. Unless you were born and raised into that, it's just so bizarre to me.
For people that were born and raised into it, they probably think it's just normal. And I mean, and it is normal to them.
Yeah, because it looks like the men that go there are always going to be preachers, and I don't even know why girls go, because in that kind of society, I guess is the word I'm looking for, the men are preachers.
Sunday school teachers.
Yeah, possibly Sunday school teachers, but mostly they're just used as breeders. So I don't even know why they let women go to the college anyway, because as we know, once a woman gets herself an education, she becomes a liability.
Yeah, I don't get it. I do not understand. I wouldn't last 2 seconds. They would throw me out. They wouldn't let me in the first.
I was about to say, when were you admitted? Because that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm divorced too, so.
Yep. You were forever stained.
Yep.
because they believe that once you are married with somebody, divorce does not matter. You are still married in the eyes of God, and nothing will ever annul that in the history of ever, and therefore you are tainted. And even if you're divorced, that you're not allowed to remarry again because you're already tainted.
Well, I
Nobody.
wonder what they think of somebody if they get divorced and they never remarry and they never date anybody else. They just get divorced.
Well, then
Like, I
it's
wonder-
a little more honorable because they consider remarriage after divorce as cheating,
Right.
which is
Or,
weird.
yeah, adultery or whatever.
Yeah, they consider it adultery, exactly, which is stupid and weird, but that's my belief, not their belief. So everyone's entitled to their beliefs. They're just stupid, that's all.
You're so accepting. I love it.
I know, right? Had a thought about BJU and now I don't remember. Oh, if you are fascinated by all of this interesting BJU talk, you should check them out online. Like, check out their Wikipedia and check out their website, and you can go be equally horrified of what goes down over there. Like, it's not like a crazy cult or anything, but it seems like it is. It's just, I don't know. It's just crazy. I did a lot of research into it when I was dating him, and if in case you need to know, yes, the reason we broke up was because of clashing belief systems, because I couldn't keep up with the God. Could you imagine if I actually
No.
did move down there? Because I talked about actually moving there.
I know. I remember.
Even
I was
when
like, you done lost your damn mind.
I know, and like it wasn't like, oh, we're gonna move in together, moving there. It was he already told me that if I come down there, he doesn't know me. So my plan was gonna be just to move down there and put myself in his path and like get an apartment like really close to where he worked. And God, that sounds so stalkerish now, doesn't it?
Really does. Like,
God, I'm a creep.
I just moved like 800 miles across the country to put myself in your path, even though we've been
Yeah.
dating for 2 years.
Exactly. God, that's creepy. I don't know which is
How
worse, him or me.
Like, how weird would that have been? Like, having to pretend with his friends, like, that you guys just met and you just
Yeah.
started seeing each other when really you know his entire life story.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
and you've helped him find 17 apartments.
Oh my God, that was hell. Yeah, that was what I was going to do. But could you imagine if I actually did that and then it actually did like work out with him? I would probably have like 5 babies by now because all of his sisters, which he has like 7, all of them are now married with at least 2 kids. And the youngest one is like 21.
That's
It's
sad.
Yes, it's what they're born and raised to do. But my life would be so much different if I actually moved to that state.
Yeah.
Because could you imagine me like sitting there in my Sunday best constantly making rice pudding for
knitting.
and knitting for the what is it, pot faith? Instead
The
of
pot faith.
Right. Bringing my pudding to the pot faith so that we could all get together and talk about the wonderful work that Julie's doing in her her mission trip to South Sudan, all this stuff. God, I could not even imagine
God.
being like that. I mean, that's great for the people that are. Congrats, that's your jive. It is not mine. It would
I
be
mean,
so
it's
different.
like, you know, when you're that young, like 21 and having a baby, like, I don't know. That just,
But
that
Jesus said,
sounds
go
so
forth and
young.
multiply.
That sounds so young. Like, I mean, I'm 30. I could not, and if I got pregnant right now, oh my God, my whole world would shut down. I would
yeah.
die. I would literally just fall over dead.
Yeah, I'm still at that age to where when one of my peers tells me they're pregnant, I'm like, oh my God, what are you going to do
I'm
about
so
it?
sorry.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. Do you need me to drive you to the clinic?
And they're like, no.
Yeah.
They're
Like,
like, I wanted this.
Yeah, I still cannot fathom the fact that people get pregnant on purpose.
I know, I do the same thing.
It blows my mind.
I know, like, people will tell me that they're pregnant, and I'll, like, kind of wait a second. I'm like, think it through. Okay, congratulations is the proper thing to say, not, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm the last person that you want to hand a baby shower card to, because my knee-jerk reaction is always congratulations on the going away party for your hopes and dreams. Because that's all a baby shower is a going away party for your hopes and dreams. The end. It's done. Put a fork in it. So yeah, now that we're on a child-free rant,
That's a whole other episode.
that is a whole other podcast. Honestly, we could do that forever. So yeah, that's what happened. Bob Jones University is batty. Ex-boyfriends are batty. Kristen doesn't do Jesus. So there's that. Good recap. CJ, what did you learn?
I learned that if you don't want to know the truth, don't ever type anything into Urban Dictionary.
That is very similar to what I learned, because I was going to say I learned what take you to church means, and I am going to try that tonight.
Oh, please don't. I learned that when you see a priest coming towards you with holy water, just go ahead and close your eyes, because it's probably not going to end well. And I also learned that apparently AC/DC stands for Anti-Christian Devil Children.
It does, and KISS is Knights in Satan's Service. I learned that CJ has a friend that goes by Marinera, but not for sexy purposes, but because she can't handle her red juice, red sauce.
For barfing purposes.
Right. She has to wear a sticker that says, "Please don't feed me anything red." Yes.
She's like an animal at the zoo. Please don't feed the animals.
Exactly. Just don't feed me at all. So yeah, that is what we learned. You can check us out on all our social medias. You can listen to us on SoundCloud, iTunes. Big announcement for iTunes. Now you can find us via the help of Siri. All you have to do is say, "Siri," and tell it to do and tell it to do things. Hang on,
All you have to do is say, "Hey Siri, take me to church."
Yes. I think it's, "Hey Siri, play Remember That One Time podcast."
I'll have to try that out.
And it says, okay, remember that
We
one.
will not be held responsible.
It works.
For any
Listen.
hearing impairments or damage.
Holy
caused to
shit.
you. Excessive
I've never
exposure
even
to
tried
this
it.
sound.
Listen, that's us. Fuck yeah. Okay, now how do I make it stop? Please stop. Oh no. What is this? Okay, so yeah. If you've got an iPhone, just say, "Hey Siri, play Remember That One Time podcast," and it will pop right up. Siri, stop listening to me. Shut up. Fuck.
Wait, you don't have an iPhone? How did you do that?
Oh, I didn't. Girl, you didn't know. I have jumped on the iPhone train.
Get out. Are you freaking serious?
I am freaking serious. I now
Oh
have
my
a
gosh.
6S Plus.
This is amazing. I can't wait.
Yeah, we can FaceTime now, bitch. What?
Yes, we can FaceTime. I can share albums with you. I can share
Yes.
my location with you so you can make sure that I'm always safe.
I know. Super exciting. Now we're finally both on the same page. What's funny is I'm the technologically advanced one, and I finally got myself an iPhone. So, yeah, there you go. You learned. What did you learn today? You learned that
Kristen got an iPhone.
Yes, Chris got an iPhone. Perfect.
Do
So
you like it?
I love it. It's taking a long time to get used to. Some of the motor functions that I'm still trying to figure out some things, but
Yeah.
so far so good. I like the interface. I like all the different things I can do. It makes me happy.
Yes.
Things that I wasn't allowed to do on my Samsung.
That's awesome.
Very exciting. So yeah,
Team iPhone.
moral of the story is, if you've got an iPhone, all you have to do is say, "Hey Siri, play Remember That One Time podcast," and she'll pull it right up. It'll be the latest episode, and she'll take all the thought out of it. So there's our big announcement for the day. And I'm Going to put that on all our social media as well so that you don't forget, because you're probably drinking and you're not going to remember anyways.
I know I'm not.
I know. So that is it. What?
If you have a second, you should also look up Ray Stevens' Mississippi Squirrel Revival, since we're on the topic of church. It's very
Up with the Dead on the on our website. We've already got that posted on our website. So after you watch that one, then the Mississippi Squirrel Revival on YouTube will probably be like the next one available, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So you can just scroll through some Ray Stevens in general. He's a funny
It's worth
dude.
the watch.
It really is.
He's amazing.
Yeah, did you know he's got this thing here in Nashville called Cabaret?
Yep.
Yeah. My husband's grandfather was looking into it, and I'm like, those tickets are so expensive. Like, I'd love to go because, piece of my childhood and everything.
Yeah.
But it's like $85 a person.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, granted, you do get dinner with it, but still, I don't know. I don't think that I should pay $85 for dinner and a night with Ray Stevens until I turn at least 73. So there's that. Okay. Well, that is this week's episode. And what are we doing next episode, CJ? Honestly, I don't remember.
We are going to talk about cars.
Oh, yeah.
Buying
Can't live with them.
cars.
Can't do without them.
Selling cars. Wrecking
Fucking cars.
Breaking into cars. All kinds of cars. Car stories. We got lots of them.
Oh, yes, we do.
So that's next time on Remember That One Time.
And remember, always say yes to adventures, for they always lead to stories, and in the end, that is all we are.
Good night.
And God bless America.
This concludes our broadcast day. Good night, and God bless America.